Alright, hey everybody! This is our first nerdy video series, so about all the kind of the nerdy aspects of recording and our instruments and all that kind of jazz. So we've been at this, our house, for about 4 years now with our studio. And when we first kind of built it, actually I'll go back a bit. So when we first recorded our first LP, we all locked ourselves in our bass player's garage. He's got a studio out in LA. Hey Tony. And we rented a ton of gear because we were trying to figure out what our sound was going to be and what kind of gear that we like to use, what mics and preamps and all that kind of stuff. And so when we moved out here, we started buying our favorite pieces of gear from that session. So stuff that we used the most. So we'll start down here. I'll show you all our favorite stuff. So I'd say probably the lifeblood of our whole studio is this Apogee converter, this interface. It's their flagship model, the Symphony Mark II. We just love Apogee. We've been using their stuff for years, and so when we decided to get an interface, we knew we were going to go with Apogee. Everything sounds gorgeous through it. It's like ultra high definition, amazing conversion. Like the digital clock in there that takes the analog signal and converts it to digital is like unsurpassed. I mean, there's a lot of great companies out there, but there's only like 2 or 3 that are like the top tier, and Apogee is one of our favorites for sure. It's also modular, which is really cool, so you can kind of expand. But yeah, we love them. It's also a super cool company. It's run by women. The CEO's a woman. They're very environmentally friendly. The headquarters is all like solar powered. They do a lot of amazing charity work. So anyway, it's a cool company. We dig them. As far as preamps go, we went all in on the 500 series concept. If you don't know what that was, the 500 series started kind of in the 70s, and it was basically started with the company API, and they basically made it a way to kind of create your own console. So like, instead of spending $100,000 on an API console, you could get like a lunchbox system, as it's kind of nicknamed. And you can just get a few channels of whatever you want. So we love it because, sometimes you want a specific sound, and if you had a console, you only get the same sound on everything. So we started with the first 2 we bought were actually the Neve 1073, which is a total classic. It's almost kind of like a cliche at this point, but there's a reason it's a cliche. Everything sounds gorgeous through the Neve. It's very kind of vintage rich sounding. It just sounds, whatever you plug into it, it sounds exactly how you want it to sound. I don't know how to describe it. There's some hilarious threads actually online on like different forums that are people trying to describe the Neve sound or the API sound and all that kind of stuff. It's pretty funny. But anyway, Neve is awesome. We actually fell in love with it during that first recording session. We rented a 1073, and as soon as we plugged into it, we were like, "Oh my gosh, that's the sound we want." So we're very inspired by like the sonic characteristics of a lot of 70s records, and that's kind of a classic 70s preamp. So that was the first one we bought. Then we also have another classic 70s kind of vibe, which is an API 512V, which is their new model. It used to just be the gain knob, but they added an output on these new ones, which is really awesome. API, again, it's that kind of classic 70s kind of vintage sound, but it's a lot more kind of aggressive sounding. I hate using the word punchy because it's one of those kind of annoying words everyone always uses to describe gear, but it has that kind of scooped mids kind of sonic characteristic. It sounds amazing on drums. They're always on the drum overheads when we're recording. But again, what's cool about the output knob now is you can kind of dial in exactly how much of that kind of grit you want. That's API kind of classic sounding grit. So you can get it really clean, or you can get it super punchy. The next one we have this is a new one. This is the Rupert Neve Designs, the 511. And this is kind of a new one. We haven't used it a ton. We've just kind of been trying out to see if we like it. It's a lot more modern sounding. It has kind of the silk option down here, which you can kind of get kind of a classic kind of 1073 sound. But I don't know. So far, I'm not a huge fan. I don't know why. I just haven't spent too much time with it. I was thinking of trading it in, getting maybe another one of these. I know, how boring. But we love it. We love what we love, right? But anyway, those are the pre's that we have. We also have this guy here, the This thing is awesome. This is the Summit Audio MPC 100A. It's a channel strip, so it's got the pre, and it has an amazing, really nice, super fast compressor. It's all tube. One of its competitors would be kind of the LA610, kind of the classic UA channel strip, although I like this so much better. It is so gooey and rich and warm sounding. It sounds so good on bass, electric bass through here. And then anything that you want, amazing on vocals. Anything that you want, like a really rich, warm sounding kind of vibe, that's definitely where you want to go for sure. What else?
What is that?
This is our power supply. You want to get super boring. This is a Monster power supply, so it's actually balanced power, so it takes in the dirty city power and spits it out at an exact, voltage. And it makes all your gear run the way it's supposed to, basically. So if you have sometimes noisy gear that can pick up a lot of unwanted signals, you can run it through, you can plug everything into the balanced power and it sounds great. So it's one of those annoying things. Actually, it was really annoying when we first moved in, is figuring out how to wire power through everything, because we have a lot of gear that has this is like 90 pounds of copper in this rack, and it picks up a lot of noise along the way, so you have to plug it into really clean power in order to get a really clean signal, so that it sounds really high definition through the finished product. What else is down here? Got a Switchcraft patch bay. That's basically how we route everything. So we've got everything here coming in from the tracking room, and then we can route it to whatever kind of pieces of outboard we want, and then back into our Apogee system through here. So it just keeps things, it looks chaotic, but actually keeps things much more organized. What do we got? Up here we got the central station. It's just like a passive speaker.
It's really bright.
Oh, is that really bright? It's just like a passive speaker routing system. It's like our TalkBack. It's okay. There's a lot of great ones out there. We like this one.
Oops.
It's kind of annoying. The buttons are kind of annoying, but anyway, it works. What do we got up top? We've got the real important stuff up here. So this is our computer.
Let me stand up.
We had good. We've gone through a lot of computers over the years, and they've always been disappointing. And we finally buckled one of the. How long have we had this one? I don't know.
A couple years? I don't know.
Yeah, maybe like a year and a half, something like that. We've buckled and got, when the new iMac Pro came out, we were like, ugh, we just gotta buckle down and get it. And we haven't had any problems since. It's been fantastic.
The other one would stall.
Oh my gosh, I know. I'm sure all of you, computer problems are the bane of a mixer's existence. So far, no problems with this one. Fingers crossed. We run Pro Tools. Everything goes through Pro Tools. We do a lot of stuff in the box. I'll sometimes use the compressors and stuff ahead, but I won't push them too hard, and then I kind of adjust them in the box. But yeah, there's a lot of great plugins out there. We could talk plugins all day. These are probably the most important things we have, though. These gorgeous JBL 7 Series. They're the 708. It's their professional line. Their new flagship studio monitors. Man, that totally changed the game when we got those. We've always mixed on really terrible speakers. Our bass player Tony at Ear Gallery has great speakers. He's got some Dynaudios that were really nice. But when we moved out to Iowa, we just had some garbage. We actually had some garbage JBL speakers. Like the crap you get at Guitar Center. But when we got the Pro Series, oh my gosh, it was like night and day. Everything's so easy to mix on them. They're super flat. You don't get ear fatigue. Yeah, so great. Oh yeah, we also have these Maggies up here. These are actually speakers, electrostatic speakers from the 70s. They sound terrible, but they can sometimes point out stuff that's wrong in the mix. Certain things. They point out bad and high-end problems, so you can sometimes test them on there. But what's nice about these JBLs is everything sounds great. So it's once you get the mix sounding good on these speakers, it'll sound good anywhere. We love it. Yeah, this is more routing. This is our headphone distribution system by Furman, which is terrible. Never buy these. They don't make them anymore. But I thought it was cool because it was from the 80s. And no, it's just terrible. It sounds terrible. But whatever, it's just for reference, This is an old M Audio Tampa channel strip, preamp, and compressor. I don't use it too much. It's usually when I need like an extra channel, when we're doing drums or something. But the compressor's not bad in it, and it's just like a nice clean pre. But this is actually back when M Audio was making like high-end stuff. Like it's all hand wired. Like now they're kind of known for making kind of made in China garbage gear. But for a while there in the 90s, they were trying to make some really cool stuff. But yeah, I don't use it too much. But what else do I got up here? Got a pair of like Rupert Neve DIs, which are amazing. We were using kind of a handful of different DIs when we were out in the road, but one of my DIs broke right before a tour, and we were using an LR Baggs Venue DI for the acoustic guitar, and it broke, and it was like 2 days or something before tour. So I called my Sweetwater guy, and I was like, ship me out one of these Rupert Neve ones, and we loved it so much that we had him ship us another one like mid-tour because it sounded so good. And so we run like the Juno through it, or anything that you need a DI for, we use those Rupert Neves. Man, they just sound great. But yeah.
Skybox?
Oh, that's just guitar pedals, yeah.
Oh.
We got the Big Sky guitar pedal. We got a bunch of guitar pedals over there, but yeah, that's kind of it. It's good. Okay. The camera cut off, but anyway, next nerd video we're gonna do like microphones, and then we're gonna do like a whole one on guitars and all our electric pianos, and another one on all my drum obsession. But anyway, thanks so much for joining us, the 6 people that are interested, and we'll see you next time. Take care.